Larus, the Cantabrian. Among the many warriors who fought in the Second Punic War, 218 to 201 BC, one figure stands out in the literary account of Silius Italicus's Punica, Larus, a Cantabrian mercenary leader who fought for Carthage. Though his historicity remains uncertain, his role in the epic poem paints a vivid picture of the fierce resistance offered by Iberian warriors against Rome. His presence in Punica reflects the importance of Cantabrian mercenaries in Carthaginian military campaigns, as well as the heroic, almost mythical status that some warriors attained in ancient literature. Whether real or a literary invention, Larus embodies the martial prowess and spirit of the Cantabrian people, providing insight into the role of Iberian warriors in the broader conflict between Rome and Carthage, early history and role in the Second Punic War. Larus appears in Punica as a prominent figure in the later stages of the Second Punic War, particularly in 207 BC, following the catastrophic defeat of Mago Barca at the Battle of the Metaurus. Carthaginian forces in Hispania were left severely weakened. In response, the Carthaginian commanders Mago Barca and Hanno launched a fresh recruitment campaign across the Iberian peninsula to replenish their ranks. Among the mercenaries they gathered was Larus, a Cantabrian leader who commanded a contingent of warriors from his homeland. The Cantabrians were a fierce and independent people inhabiting the mountainous regions of northern Hispania. Known for their hit-and-run tactics, ambushes, and exceptional combat skills, they were highly sought after as mercenaries by both Carthaginians and Romans. Larus, as described in Punica, was not only a skilled leader, but also a formidable warrior, embodying the ideal of the Celtic fighter. His troops, equipped with their traditional weaponry, would go on to participate in one of the last significant battles of Carthage's Iberian campaign. The battle in which Larus fought took place in Iberia, where Mago and Hanno confronted the Roman general Marcus Junius Silanus. At this time, the Carthaginian forces had grown complacent, believing themselves safe from immediate Roman attack. This overconfidence led to a lack of defensive preparations, a mistake that the Romans would exploit. Arms, armor, and fighting style. Larus's equipment and combat style, as depicted in Punica, reflect the broader martial traditions of the Cantabrian and Celtic Iberian warriors. His primary weapon was the bipennis, a double-headed battle axe. This weapon, though not as common as the Falcata or the gladius hispaniensis, was used by certain Iberian and Celtic warriors and symbolized strength and lethality in combat. The use of a bipennis with a single hand suggests exceptional physical strength and dexterity, emphasizing Larus's status as a nearly superhuman warrior in the poem. In addition to his axe, Larus carried a caetra, a small circular shield commonly used by Iberian fighters. The caetra was well suited for the fast, agile fighting style favored by Iberian mercenaries, allowing them to move quickly and engage in close combat while maintaining defensive maneuverability. Unlike the large Roman scutum, which offered extensive protection in formation battles, the caetra was designed for skirmishes and individual duels, making it an ideal tool for the kind of engagements in which Larus thrived. Another noteworthy aspect of Larus's character was his reputation as a fearsome, unarmed fighter. This suggests that, beyond his skill with weapons, he was also adept in hand-to-hand combat, a trait solidified his legendary status in Punica. Iberian warriors often engaged in wrestling and close-quarters combat, utilizing their physical prowess when disarmed or forced into melee situations. His final battle and legacy. Larus's most significant moment in Punica occurs during the Roman assault on the Carthaginian camp. Having underestimated the speed and coordination of the Roman forces, Mago and Hanno were caught off guard, leading to a swift and devastating attack. The Carthaginian troops, unprepared and disorganized, were quickly routed. However, in the midst of the chaos, Larus and his contingent of Cantabrian warriors mounted a last stand, refusing to flee despite overwhelming odds. As the Roman forces pressed forward, Larus continued to fight, cutting down multiple enemies with his bipennis. His combat prowess was so terrifying that Roman infantrymen began avoiding direct confrontation with him, unwilling to face his sheer strength and skill in battle. Despite his bravery, the numerical superiority of the Romans eventually led to the annihilation of his troops, leaving Larus as the last warrior standing. It was at this moment that Lucius Cornelius Scipio, a Roman officer, engaged him in single combat. The duel between Larus and Scipio is one of the most dramatic moments in Punica, mirroring the heroic duels of Homeric and classical epics. Despite his formidable strength, Larus was ultimately defeated when Scipio managed to sever his arm, rendering him unable to continue fighting. With his death, the last resistance in the battle crumbled, leading to the capture of Hanno and a decisive Roman victory. Conclusion: Larus, whether a real historical figure or a literary creation, represents the resilience and warrior ethos of the Cantabrian people. His depiction in Punica aligns with the tradition of epic storytelling, in which individual heroes stand out through their extraordinary feats and tragic ends. The story of his final battle underscores the significance of Iberian mercenaries in the broader Carthaginian war effort and highlights the brutal and personal nature of ancient warfare. His duel with Scipio serves as a reminder of the poetic embellishments common in Roman and Greek epic literature, where battles are often distilled into dramatic one-on-one encounters. Yet, even if Larus was a fictionalized figure, his presence in Punica sheds light on the contributions of the Cantabrians and the wider Iberian martial culture in the Second Punic War. His tale, preserved in the poetry of Silius Italicus, remains a fascinating chapter in the mythos of Rome's long and bloody conflicts in Hispania.